All right, folks, we are back on the W.A.D.E concept presented by The Ring, and I don't even know if I have words for what we have just seen become official. Jake Paul has lost his mind, and he is now officially fighting Anthony Joshua on December 19th in the Kaseya Center in Miami. Pro fight, heavyweight. There is a weight limit we're going to talk about, but I'm going to tell you something, whether you like him or not. Jake Paul has gigantic balls, and this is probably the worst mistake of his career. Danger personified. He's going to get hurt very badly. I think all these things and more, but we need to talk about it. The breakdown, let's go. But before we do, guys, just really quick, I want to say a big thank you to the sponsor of today's video and a partner on the channel. That's First Form. First Form is the best supplementation that you can ask for when trying to hit the gym and get swole. You don't want it to take its toll. You don't want to feel old. You want to be able to recover and get back to your workouts ASAP. Because when you train hard and your supplements are crap and your diet is crap, then it doesn't really help you build a lasting foundation for your health and fitness needs. And something I love about First Form is they're people first and products second, meaning they are going to try to help you be your best self through their products, not just selling you products to have. Me personally, every time I work out, I'm getting older. I need some protein to make sure my muscles recover and make sure I'm not sore as hell the next 2 to 3 days. And I do so with First Form's Formula One. It is a 100% whey isolate protein that helps you recover and keeps your muscles ready to go for that next intense workout. It's not just the Formula One. I take the Micro Factor. There's tons of vitamins and antioxidants that I need every morning to get myself going. Whether it's that or you're missing a meal replacement, you can go to First Form for the protein sticks, the level 1 bars, whatever else you can find on the website. You just got to click the link down below. And when you buy over $100 worth of product, you're going to get free shipping courtesy of First Form. Once again, click the link in the description. And also, First Form wants you to try it for 30 days, right? They want to see how you like the product. For some reason, in some other alternate universe, if you don't like it, you can send it back in 30 days. They're going to give you 110% refund on your order. So once again, click the link in the description. Thank you to First Form for sponsoring this video and keeping me in great shape, feeling good, and wanting to continue on my fitness journey. Now, let's get back to the breakdown. All right, folks, like I said, Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, it's official. Jake posting this on Twitter this morning. Yes, it's real. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua will go head-to-head in a pro heavyweight fight, live only on Netflix, Friday, December 19th. They got the hashtag ready. Here's the poster, and even in the poster, you can see this is a David and Goliath story here. I mean, there's times where I thought Jake is a cruiserweight. There's times where I thought even he could be a light heavyweight, and now he's stepping in with one of the most chiseled, bona fide heavyweights in the world right now in Anthony Joshua. And while you may think this matchup is a monstrosity, I think the real monstrosity is the fact that they spelled judgment wrong. Someone's getting judged for that. Now, you see the details in the poster. It is the Kaseya Center in Miami. This was the location for Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. They're going to keep everything the same. They're going to keep the date the same. Time, Netflix. They're changing out the opponent, and obviously they're changing out the rules. First, Jake Tank Davis exhibition. No siree. You're not seeing that this time around, and this is why I think Jake has gigantic fucking balls, because the rule set is as follows. Jake Paul is actually fighting former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua in 10-ounce gloves in a professional bout, 8 rounds, 3-minute rounds each, and there is a weight limit. And that's only for Anthony Joshua, but there is a weight limit. And there's a quote here from Anthony Joshua: "I'm about to break the internet over Jake Paul's face." I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but it sounds fucking demented, terrifying, and just in the same tone I would want AJ to take this fight. Being there, playing no games, wanting to knock Jake Spark out, El Sparko, cold. Because that is what makes Jake Paul or any other fights interesting. A level of danger that we believe, a level of competition that we want to see. And the details, like I said, fire me up. It's a professional bout. This is going on people's records. AJ got to take him serious, because this isn't some exhibition. We're running out some judges to act like there's a decision and someone won. No, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose here. It's 8 rounds, 3-minute rounds. Again, heavyweight pro bout, 10-ounce gloves. AJ talking about breaking internets over faces. I think he meant to say breaking his face on the internet. Who knows? Maybe you can do both in the big 2025. But then you have the weight limit, 245 pounds. And people are automatically going to go, oh, God, here's the thing. Oh, here's the thing in the contract. No, stop all that. And I'm going to go on a rant in a second for all the people that thought this was fake, for all the people that thought that Jake wouldn't do this, for all the people that thought he was scared. I'm going to go on that rant in a second. But, okay, yes, 245 is a weird number because Jake has already fought at heavyweight. He fought Mike Tyson at 220-something. But again, I understand it a little bit. We're on short notice here. You don't want to have a Tyson Fury type situation, which AJ would never be 290 coming in here. But 260, 270, it starts to get out of the realm of possibility of, like, what are we doing here? Even though heavyweight has no limit, I get it. Because AJ has fought at this weight multiple times before, and they're trying to create a similar, at least size matchup to Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. And we go back to the 2022 rematch. Usyk weighed in at 221.5. Anthony Joshua weighed in at 245, or at least 244.5. Now, this is interesting because it was heavier than the first time they fought. Because in the first time they fought, AJ was 240. Now, again, you see kind of the size they want to replicate. They want to replicate the size of Usyk in this second and first fight. And they want to replicate AJ's size in those fights as well. I thought AJ fought very well the second time around, better than maybe people remember. And this is why this should not be a competitive fight, regardless of that weight or anything else. I mean, look at this picture right here. I know things have changed since this time period, but this was in 2017. AJ was the heavyweight world champion. Jake was on red carpets for Bizarrevarks on the Disney Channel, looking like every fuckboy that came out of the Vine era. This shouldn't be the reality that we're living in. Now, I've sat here and I've asked myself over and over and over, what's the upside for Jake here? What's the upside? Because he can make money with everybody, right? Jake can make money fighting Gervonta Davis. He can make money fighting freaking Ryan Borland and Andre Agassi. He can make money fighting Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And I'm just asking myself, stop asking me 267 million. Okay, yeah. If that's a real number, there's no context there. I don't know if that's referring to something else, but if Jake is getting paid $267 million for this fight, I mean, this is Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor territory without pay-per-view. This is Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao territory, again, without it being pay-per-view. That can't be the number. Now, there's also this message from Jake that was on Sky Sports. We're going to look at a Sky Sports interview in just a second. Jake said, to all my haters, this is what you wanted. To the people of the United Kingdom, I'm sorry. On Friday, December 19, under the lights in Miami, live globally on Netflix, the torch gets passed and Britain's Goliath gets put to sleep. Again, I told you guys he wanted this. I told you he'd be confident in it. Hell, I was on a Misfits show a couple of months ago, and I told you guys that I thought Jake was crazy enough to believe himself when he said, I'm going to go out and knock out AJ. I want the AJ fight. I believed he meant it because I know how insane this dude is, how his brain has probably been altered from his time in boxing, and he's making decisions like this. You don't have to believe me. Jake Paul's biggest op, KSI, is even saying it. Like, all right, dude, fair enough. Because you can't hate this kind of level of, again, ballsy attitude, maybe psychotic delusion, inflated ego, whatever is making Jake take this fight. And I don't think it's healthy for him at all. I think this is going to be one-way traffic. I think AJ is going to hurt him very badly. And speaking of the insanity of this thing, here is what the first line is. Jake as a plus 800. I have a feeling that's going to shift even more toward AJ at minus 1,500. Because again, how could you even see Jake winning this fight? Where is the possibility for Jake to actually get it done? I mean, look at this picture from them playing paintball a couple of years ago, I guess, or I don't know if it was paintball, but some sort of airsoft like gunfighting. But look at the difference in the size. And I get it, size doesn't just win fights, but AJ doesn't just have the size. He is more experienced at the highest level. He has fought guys that are smaller than him and are more experienced and better than Jake is. Again, Alexander Usyk twice. What better experience? I know Usyk is southpaw, but what better experience to get you prepared to fight a smaller guy than to fight the best, smallest guy coming up to heavyweight in Usyk that you could find. And yes, AJ is plotty, and he's maybe a little stiff, and maybe his chin is not what it used to be, but that's still Anthony Joshua. So Nikisa Badarian did an interview with Sky Sports, Jake Paul's manager and co-founder of MVP. He had some things to say about the fight. Obviously, they're going to do a massive press tour around this thing. Let's take a look and listen at why Nikisa, maybe a hot take, says that Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is more winnable for Jake Paul than Gervonta Davis would have been.
How dangerous is this for Paul?
This is a more dangerous fight than Gervonta Tank Davis, but it's a more winnable fight than Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta was small, fast, super skilled.
That is a fucking hot take. That's a I don't know if that's crazy, but it's a hot take. Let's hear his reasoning.
Gervonta was small, fast, super skilled. Joshua is big, heavy puncher, but not as evasive. So I think if Jake has the right game plan, he has a pretty good shot of winning this fight.
That's crazy. Now, first off, a winnable fight with Gervonta Davis. It was an exhibition. So, wins and losses, we weren't really going to be able to count there. But saying that it is a risky but more winnable fight, it's so hard to get on board with even the thought of Jake winning this. Like, there's only really, I think, one, maybe two avenues where Jake possibly can in some way win it. But when Nikisa says it's a more dangerous but also more winnable, the only thing my mind jumps to is Jake is going to have to stand in front of Anthony Joshua, a literal destroyer at heavyweight, a literal one punch, send you to the hospital, potentially end your career puncher at heavyweight, and take the risk of eating that punch just to land a punch that potentially could knock AJ out. That is why the risk and reward factor, I have to think Nikisa's talking about there, is involved. And you do look at guys like Andy Ruiz, guys like Usyk that even hurt AJ, and obviously Daniel Dubois that hurt him badly and put him down. You do ask the question, is AJ's chin just completely gone? Is that what MVP, is that what Jake is banking on? The fact that he can touch AJ on the chin, and it's been tested so many times that Jake hits hard enough to put him away. That is a fucking down to your last dollar, all-in bet on a hand of blackjack, down to your last dollar, and you're holding a 2 and a 3. You're betting blind with almost no chance and only on hope that you can get this done. That's how it feels. But again, that would be the path. Taking the risk, at least in pockets, and being in front of AJ and throwing on throw. You have to think he's going to have to throw on throw. When AJ throws, Jake's got to be there to counter and hit him in between when AJ's not seeing the punch coming. It has to be it. That's every time AJ's been knocked out, that's how it's been. It's been exchanging throw on throw. We're going to do an entire breakdown on how this fight's going to go. And again, the easy answer is this fight's probably just going to flat out go one way and one way only. AJ's the 18-wheeler going 90 down the straightaway, and Jake is in a fucking golf cart going 10 miles an hour, headed right back at the 18-wheeler. It's going to be freaking destruction. But anyway, then you have the tail of the tape, the facts. AJ's 36, Jake's 28, which again, I'm tired of hearing about the age thing with Jake. He's getting to be close to 30 now himself. Like, we're going to say here, AJ's past his prime. Don't give me that bullshit. AJ may not be what he was as a sitting world champion, but he is so far from just completely shot. And I swear if I hear any of that this time around, dude, go fuck off. AJ is 6'6", 250. Even if AJ just wants to keep him on the end of a jab, look at the reach. He's got a 6-inch reach on Jake. And trust me, the Chloe concept has told me the 6 inches is more than enough. Okay? So that's going to be a problem. Again, not even talking about the fact that AJ is more dangerous with just his power, but the jab, the reach, the extent, turnover of the right hand, he's going to be able to hit Jake at range. Jake can't even hit him. 43 amateur fights, 32 pro fights. He's 28-4. He's an Olympian. He's a gold medalist. He's won the world title. Delusional, yes. Very rich, yes. It's insane. Here's more from the Sky Sports interview with Nikisa Badarian, looking like my man Steve Jobs.
They'll say it's a real mismatch. What would you say to them? Are we going to be watching sport at its purest?
I would say it's much less of a mismatch than what you saw with AJ and Francis Ngannou, who a massive man, but relatively no boxing experience. I would say it's much less of a mismatch than AJ's 9th or 10th fight against guys who've been knocked out 20 to 25 times. Given AJ's pedigree, Jake is built for this. Jake is built for the big moments. So do I think it's dangerous for Jake Paul? Absolutely. Do I think it's also dangerous for Anthony Joshua? 100%.
They'll say
Gee, again, that just sounds crazy. It sounds crazy to say, yeah, Jake is dangerous for Anthony Joshua. It sounds stupid. It sounds insane to say that. Hey, AJ might be in trouble here. But again, they're going to fight. And if AJ does come in and just try to walk right over Jake, I will agree with Nikisa that it's not as easy as it was with Francis, who, he would jab and there would be no recollection of, there's a right hand coming back. And AJ would just pull right hand and flatline Francis. Like, Jake will have a better, at least, skill set than Francis Ngannou. Now, Jake's size will be nowhere near France. So I don't know about the power that Jake has in his hands to even hurt AJ. I know that he hits hard, but this is a 240-pound heavyweight. This is not the cruiserweights. This is not the 190s. This is not those guys. And Jake couldn't knock out Mike. That's the other thing we're not talking about. Jake couldn't knock out 58-year-old Mike Tyson. And trust me, he tried. He tried in the first couple of rounds in that fight. And I know that, maybe he had some things going on and had a foot issue or whatever, but he couldn't knock out Mike. He couldn't knock out Tommy Fury. He couldn't beat Tommy. And I know, again, that was a long time ago in a different weight, but Jake hit him with a flush right hand. He hit Tommy Fury with a flush overhand and multiple left hooks. Couldn't hurt him. And if you can't hurt AJ, if you can't get AJ's respect, especially early in this fight, to get him to walk onto something and then make him pay for it, it's going to go very badly. Now, can I see a world where AJ walks onto a right hand? Yeah. I can, because I've seen him do it before, multiple times. When he gets to feeling himself a little bit and walks forward and Jake throws that looking at the floor freaking overhand or jab to the body overhand, I just don't know how many times you get that miracle punch. So if he gets one off, it better be the one that stops the show if Jake even has a remote chance. I'm talking 5% chance to win. It's going to be off one of those Hail Mary, perfect from the gods punches that just rocks AJ. AJ walking forward, kind of plotty, throwing out the jab. Jake goes jab to the body, overhand over the top. It would shock me to no end to watch if AJ were to just get outboxed by Jake Paul. Or again, if it was just one of those things where AJ showed up with the weird mindset and fucking didn't perform. But here's another Jake Paul message to Anthony Joshua.
Santa's got one wish for Christmas. What's that? I'm gonna knock Anthony Joshua the fuck out. Are you fucking serious? Anthony Joshua, you're a wussy. I'm gonna come down your chimney, boy, and whoop that ass.
Hey, yo, what the fuck? Oh, okay. Also, there's this from Logan Paul's YouTube channel.
When you called out Anthony Joshua, were you on cocaine?
No, I don't do that thing. But I would if you got some.
Why did you do that?
To be the heavyweight champion of the world. His chin's gone.
But he's still Anthony Joshua.
Which is stiff and no rhythm, no skill, just power.
You're serious about fighting him?
Jake has to be trolling when he says that Anthony Joshua is stiff with no skill and just power. AJ has skills, dude. AJ is fucking good. He's not Alexander Usyk. And Jake does live in delusional land. He'll even tell you that he's delusional to a degree that pushes him to be great. And I've said this multiple times on my channel. His delusion pushes him to another level that he would never get to if he just thought, oh, I'm a YouTuber, I'm going to stay in my YouTuber lane. Jake is not a great boxer, but it pushes him past the barriers that he would have in place to even be where he's at right now, to even have a fight with AJ. But that in no way, shape, or form means that AJ is unskilled, stiff, no chin, and just power. I'm going to say this. We're in for one of the greatest nights on boxing Twitter because no matter what happens, if we get a stoppage in this fight, really, it just doesn't matter what happens. Twitter is going to go crazy. If Jake were to somehow knock out AJ, the entire internet might blow up. If AJ knocks out Jake, they'll hold a celebration like if the devil had passed. Like... It's going to be insane. But I think that's it, man. I think that's all we have. Jake Paul went from 5'5", 134 to 6'6", 245 on the night of the fight. Yeah, just insane, dude. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm excited, right? Whatever happens in this fight, again, I don't think it's the right decision for Jake's health and well-being, but you have to give him credit for giving us, the fans, something to be excited about around his fights and something to end off the year of boxing that has been, hit and miss, I would say, with an absolute banger of an event. This is going to be one of the most watched things this year, no doubt about it. But we got to give credit where it's due. Jake's a madman. It doesn't make sense for him. He's potentially going to get ironed out flat, but he's got some big fucking balls. And for him to do this, I got to say, I don't have a hat on, but I tip my hat to you, Jake. This one's a big one. And I think we all have to give up the credit of yeah, bro. He's challenging himself, and he's putting on a fucking good show for us. Also, last thing, we had words from AJ, quote, Jake or anyone can get this work, no mercy. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And then he also said, I took some time out, and I'm coming back with a mega show. It's a big opportunity for me, whether you like it or not. I'm just here to do massive numbers, have big fights, and break every record whilst keeping cool, calm, and collected. Mark my words. You will see a lot more fighters take these opportunities in the future. I'm about to break the internet over Jake Paul's. And then we have, real quick, we do have a press conference in, I don't know where, I guess Miami? Yeah, in Miami at the Kaseya Center. This Friday, Ariel Helwani hosting. Going to be 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. We're going to be breaking that down. We're going to be breaking so much more around this fight down. Stay tuned, stay locked in. But folks, as we head out, it's fucking real. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, December 19th. Merry fucking Christmas. What happens in this fight? I think I know. I think AJ destroys it, but I don't have those answers, so guess we'll find out.